I'm live. Happy Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month after party day 11. Yes, I've been live streaming now in August 2018 for 11 days on the trot, and I did 31 whole days in July for a education about asexuality. I cover various topics such as love, life, sex, and relationships in relation to asexuality. So although asexuals lack sexual attraction, some asexuals do still get involved in sexual acts or sex itself. So it's important that I do cover that as well. But I cover asexual dating, asexual relationships. Hello, Michael. Thanks for joining me. So in today's video, I'm going to be discussing my sexual Skype date, or my Skype date with a sexual guy, should I say. And I just may have been wrong about him. We will see. So who am I talking about? Well, if you've been watching this channel closely, you will know that on the 8th of July, which was only a few days ago, this Indian sexual guy asked me to marry him, right? Which I didn't exactly take seriously, right? But yeah, I think he was being serious actually, sort of. But anyway, to cut a long story short, so this guy, who is not asexual, he is Indian, and he watches my YouTube channel, this channel, all the time, and he does click like on a lot of my posts on my personal Facebook profile. We're friends on there. And going back a few weeks ago, you remember when I had went out dancing on my own, which was a bit scary, but I managed to do it, and I danced with an Indian guy, sexual guy, but that was in this country. And then I posted on my personal Facebook page that I look forward to one day being with my asexual Indian soulmate. I had a nice time dancing with this guy, but he's not asexual. And so this guy, who is one of my friends on my Facebook page, personal profile, I don't know him, but he's like an entrepreneur guy into internet marketing. So he friended me one day, I think it was back in June or even July, I can't remember when, and we didn't really speak. And then after he saw that post, and I saw he had the birthday, which was a similar, like a few days apart from mine, I thought, oh, he started messaging me, and he started saying that I'm Indian, and yeah, he kind of really liked me straight away, which was obviously a bit of worry to me, because I don't really trust guys who all of a sudden start saying, oh, I want to be close to you, I really like you, and they don't really know me and I don't know them. I did know that for quite a little while, though, he was liking all of my posts nearly. I was quite aware of that because it kept coming up with his name. I thought he was asexual for a while because he kept liking my asexual posts all the time. And I'm like, this is a bit weird. Probably he's asexual, maybe, with any luck. But he's not. But he still reckons that he can be in a relationship. He wants a relationship with me without sex. This is what he's saying. But the thing is, he can't get over to this country. So until he does get over to this country, there's not a lot I can do apart from, get to know him. So, yeah, I had what I call a Skype date today, because it was a date, really, Skype date, because we were getting to know each other. And I didn't really say to him it was a Skype date, but he watches this show all the time, so he'll know it's a Skype date, really. But yeah, because obviously we were getting to know each other, and I said to him, it's all very well you saying you've got these feelings for me, but I want to see you on video camera, because when you see someone on video chat, you can tell a lot more whether they're lying or not. Oh, you can tell if they're telling you the truth. You can see their body language. You can see their facial expression. You can see the way they look at you. You can see where they are in their home environment. So you can gauge much better of what they're really like rather than a few words. So yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised. I was sat there talking to him, video chat with him. He seems like a really nice guy, a decent guy with a good heart. And I'm like, a quality guy with a good heart. Yeah. I wasn't expecting that. Seriously, I wasn't actually expecting that. He seemed a really genuine guy. Now, I don't want to say this because I might be wrong. I've been wrong in the past with guys, and I don't want to be wrong again. And, it's kind of like all very quick. So I'm just taking my time, and I'm trying not to get too attached to him. I do get on really well with him. I can't deny that. I know we were in a text message conversation for like 3 hours the other day, but we were video chatting and in a text messages again today. When I say text, it's on Facebook. because the Skype was very intermittent. The signal wasn't very good today, and we tried Facebook video chat as well. But I was actually quite surprised at how decent a guy he seems to be. And I'm like, oh, a quality, decent guy who's Indian is actually talking to me, who says he can live without sex. Now, whether that is actually the case, I can't, only he knows that. But he's 34 years old. It's not like he's a kid. But, however, he is very young for his age. Like, he acts, I would say, in his personality like he's 24. Like 10 years younger. I wouldn't say he acts like he's 34 years old whatsoever. He's like, acts really young. Like, younger than some people I've met that are younger than him, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. But he was telling me his schedule for the day, which was really nice. I really appreciate that because it was giving me insight into what it's like. And he seems to live quite a nice, peaceful, good life, which is great. He said he's never had sex before, never had a relationship before, never had a girlfriend before. And he's 34. He said, I am different because I didn't want to marry an Indian girl. And my parents know that, even though they don't like it. So it's kind of a bit weird, isn't it? I mean, he obviously doesn't want to be with an Indian person. He obviously wants to be with a foreigner. I think I worked that out a while ago. But it's kind of like, yeah, there is still the visa thing that does enter my head. Like, as in, is he after a visa? I don't think he is. But, it's kind of like he has to have a visa to come over here. And I know he had problems before, so I'm still a bit dubious about that. But we will see. I don't want to rush into anything. And I told him, I can't be in a relationship with him until he's over here. Because if he doesn't get over here, there's nothing I can do. I have to keep my options open over here. He wasn't too keen on that idea, but he understood. Because, I'm not going to be tied down to any guy. I'm not going to put myself in a committal position or committed position with any guy until he can get his butt over here. Because at the end of the day, he could just not be telling me the truth, or he could just have visa problem after visa problem after visa problem. And, that's not good for me then. It'll make me really upset. So I'm trying to practice, it's good practice the art of detachment as much as possible from this guy. It does help the fact he's in his 30s and he's not in his 20s, because although he acts a lot younger, he does look young, but he kind of looks older than I would usually go for still to me. So, and he's bigger in, like, he's got big arms and stuff like that. So he's different to what I would usually go for to a certain extent. So it kind of like helps me, because I think if you've got some things there that are different to what you're used to, it can kind of help you be less detached, less attached. So for me, if the younger the guy is, the more attached I get to him, to be quite honest. If he's in his really early 20s, I'll get really attached really quickly. But if he's older, I won't get so attached so quickly, I don't think. Well, I hope not, anyway. But it is really hard with him, because I do get on really well with him. I'm really surprised at how well we get on, actually. Quite natural talking and that, But I don't know him. Hi, Martin. I'm already like 3/4 of the way through. So yeah. Thanks for joining me. Yeah. So it's kind of like, maybe I was wrong about him. Maybe this sexual guy can actually go without sex. I mean, he didn't say any sexual stuff to me at all on the video chat or in message. He wasn't sexual with me at all when we were talking. In fact, he was a lot less sexual than some asexuals I spoke to. And I've had this conversation, I've had this crop up in my grey asexual and demisexual dating group. Someone posted in my group that they've had more respect from sexual guys than they have from asexual guys. The sexual guys have been less sexual with her and more respectful than the asexual guys. And I kind of get where she's coming from. I know it's really weird to say that, but when you're sort of like, if you're sort of got any grey areas or more on the grey end of the spectrum, or, you speak to people on more of the sexual grey end of the asexual spectrum, you can find out that some of those are very sexual in behaviour. And, they can talk a lot about stuff, about kissing and what they'd like to do to you, which I'm okay with to a certain extent. It just gets too sexual for me, and I'm like wanting to run away, it's just too much for me. There's only so much of that I can handle, because I'm a heteromantic. I've got grey area of passionate kissing, but I'm not actually a grey asexual, because I don't experience any sexual attraction. So I'm kind of sandwiched in between that whole thing, really. And it's very difficult for me because, you know, I like talking about kissing, but it's no good as well if you live apart from them. If they're talking about stuff like that and they get really intimate and you're not with them and you're not in a committed relationship and you're having like basically this online thing, it's not good. But it's not good for me anyway, because it's like, if I was going to talk about that, you know, it can lead to arousal, and I don't really want that on my own because it just makes me feel rubbish. It makes me feel like I have to do stuff to myself, and I don't want to do that. I can't be bothered. I don't like it, and I'd rather get on with other stuff in my life. So I'd rather have a guy that wasn't making me feel aroused by talking about kissing and intimate stuff, really. I mean, sure, it might bond us a little bit, but I don't want to get to that stage of bondment because I'd rather remain more detached at the moment because it's good for me. You know, this guy may never ever come over here, and if that's the case, I don't want to waste my life and time being in a committed relationship with someone I'll never meet. I said no to the LDR to the asexual guy recently, the Ronald guy. You know, and that was really difficult because I really liked him, but I hadn't known him very long. And I'd known him less time, really, than this Indian sexual guy who's actually started messaging me before Ronald came into the picture. Which Ronald, you know, Ronald's just all he can be as a friend because he's in his own country for over 2.5 years. So there's nothing I can do about that. And even that's difficult for me and him at the moment. Well, particularly him, I guess, more than me, because I've got guys that are interested in me. So I kind of think it's even harder for him. But, you know, but I'm keeping my options well and truly open. I don't want to commit to anyone until they commit to me fully, unless they're over here. You know, because that isn't full commitment unless they're over here. And he's applied for a business visa before he ever met me, and he didn't get it. So, you know, I'm not going to hold my breath. I don't want to get attached to this guy. Of course, a little bit of me already does feel a lot of connection for him because I get on really well with him. He's very easy to talk to. He's very smiley. He's got a beautiful smile. He is a handsome guy. His clothes are lovely, but he's just older than I would usually go for, which kind of helps me to not be so attached to him. I just hope it stays that way, you know, because it's going to be difficult for me if not. And I don't want to be sad and unhappy, because if I get attached to a guy and I can't be with them, or possibly can't be with them, or might not be with them, that really hurts and that upsets me and gets really painful, and I don't like it. And then I kind of have to not speak to them as much, and it just gets really messy, and I can't really enjoy my time with them or even being friends with them anymore. And kind of like I have to distance myself quite a bit from them. So that's kind of hard. So yeah, but I was pleasantly surprised. I thought maybe this guy really could go without sex, because he seems like the type that's more able to do that, especially considering he hasn't had it for 34 years of his life. But then he hasn't had a woman to actually do that with in the first place. So it's kind of like, I don't know. But he says he respects me and he wouldn't do that, and he would still only wants to be just with me. So we will see, won't we? Because I mean, at the moment it's all a bit fairy tale, surreal, like, yeah, this is great in fairy tale land, but in reality, how practical is it? I mean, how would you actually get over here in the first place, because you've got problems with a visa? Secondly, there would be practicalities of the fact that I like living on my own. You know, and you know, then there's the job aspect, like what job would he do in Exeter? To be honest, more of his line of work is in London than it is over here. But you know, that's not mean to say you can't get something over here. Then he started talking to me this weird thing as well, like, oh, I'm thinking about studying maybe before I come over in my own country's beauty salon. I'm like, what guy studies in a beauty salon usually? I know this is really, really stereotypical judgment of me, really bad. But I mean, I'm not being funny. I've only just met this guy and I'm thinking, this guy is talking about working in a beauty salon. Like, I do know guys into beauty, but majority of them are gay. I don't want this guy to turn out gay, really. Do you know what I mean? Because there's quite a lot of Indian guys are gay. Really, believe me, tons of them are. And they hide it from their families. And obviously he hasn't had a girlfriend in 34 years. So obviously it does like, obviously enter my head like, beauty parlour. Right, okay, yeah. I don't know many guys that would actually voluntarily want to do that type of thing, unless the only people I know in my old job, there was two guys who used to work on beauty counters, but both of them were gay. Both of them were, you know? So I'm kind of like, I don't know what to make of that one. That's a bit of a puzzle and enigma for me. I'm kind of like assessing that in my head. I mean, sometimes I think he looks a little bit feminine as well, but I shouldn't really say that, because I watch his channel and be like, what the heck? But only in some photographs, a little bit, occasionally. Do you know what I mean? He was asking me about different, he asked me quite a lot of questions about asexuality, was really nice. He tries to understand it, because he was on about, He was trying to understand the difference between gender identity, sexual orientation, and attraction, or who people are attracted to. But he did bring up like transgender and all that lot. But you know what I mean? I obviously do think like, okay, you're saying about hair at the beauty salon, and then you're like asking me about agender. Is there something I need to, like transgender or different genders? I'm like, it's something I need to know about. Please tell me now. But yeah, but otherwise he just looks like a guy, nice and stuff. But so yeah, it's really weird. Because in 2018, actually, I'm meant to meet my soulmate in 2018. 2018 is a really lucky year for me. And technically speaking, yeah, in my mind, I'm meant to meet my soulmate this year, but I don't know if it means that I'll actually be with my soulmate this year, or if he'll just come into my life. But it could be anyone, you know. It could be someone I meet in the city, could be someone I meet online, could be anyone and anywhere. So I don't know who it is, but I just know that this year is meant to be the year that I meet him. Because it's got an 8 in it, and 8's my lucky number. It's an intuitive lucky number for me, and it's all the 8s, you know. I thought it's quite weird as well, because although he said the marriage thing, right, which I didn't really take seriously, but it was on the 8th of the 8th, 2018. I'm like, that's quite lucky for me. And I know this is like sounding really like woo-woo. He was born in 1984. Well, that's got an 8 in it, and he was born like he's very, our ages aren't the same. Our birth certificate ages aren't the same, but he's like born on the 27th of April, and I'm the 24th of April. And he's really romantic. I have to say, he is a very romantic guy, which is kind of very suitable for me, romance-wise. Very suitable. Like, he can paint the whole picture of me and him together and tell me what we're doing. Like going for walks in the park, hand in hand, all this up. But of course, this is very much textbook fairy tale stuff, you know. I've just got to be careful that he's not telling me what I want to hear on purpose, telling me what I want to hear, because he thinks that's, what I want to hear, and he's telling me like it's because, well, you want to hear this, so I'm telling you, I'm living the fairy tale with you. I'm making me appealing for you. Do you know what I mean? I've just got to be a bit wary about that. So at the moment, I'm proceeding with caution, but I have to admit that I might have got this guy wrong. That he seems like a very decent guy when I spoke to him. He seems to have a kind heart. He seems to be a really nice person to talk to. But I just, you don't know. When you've just met a person like this, you do not know. I've been hurt so many times before, so upset before. I don't want to rush into anything or, have this again, because I'm just sick of it. I mean, I was interested in an asexual Indian guy for 9 months. I was like, we were messaging, and I felt quite close to him at some times, and then he just like, I found out he was using me for business, and he was going around chatting a lot of other women up, and I just can't be doing with that in my life again. I gave up on Indian guys in their own countries for that reason. I mean, I really do need to find a guy in the UK. My mum says you need to find a guy in the UK, and that's why I want to go out dancing more on my own as well, because last time I went out dancing, I danced, and there was an Indian guy there, but he was not asexual, and he was very much had a high sex drive. I did dance with him. Hello. Oh, right, you've posted disgusting stuff, have you, on my page? I can't take that off. Yeah, this is that person who just came on and said hello. You've got a picture of your dick on your Skype on your YouTube profile. Can you please just leave, because I'm not interested in a dick. I'm really not. I'm asexual, which means absence of sexual attraction, which means I don't get turned on by a guy's penis. So if you can kind of go and look at another video that's highly sexual that you get a thrill out of, that would be brilliant. Thank you, because I really just want to keep this channel. Thanks for going off. Hope that's you that's gone now. Thank you. So yeah, it's just like, why do people do that, I don't know if you've ever seen my documentary, my asexual documentary. On Twitter, in the Twitter feed, it's got someone's dick come up, it's like, I don't want to see that. Why would I want to see that? It's repulsive. It's like, get it away from me. Ugh. I want to throw up now. Oh, sorry. No offense, guys. I don't mind, because if you say about a woman's body being horrible as well, because I don't like a woman's naked body either. So go for gold if you want to say that. But, I don't want to see that. I don't even think guys want to see other guys' penises, not unless that's what they're into. Do you know what I mean? It's like, please, thank you very much. And that's the thing. I do have to stipulate that people, asexuals all the time, they don't understand asexuality. So when you're online, I get people posting stuff to me that's quite disgusting because of the work I do, because they think being asexual means I'm a sexual person. And then I want, you know, and in Facebook the other day, I got private messaged, and I have to laugh. I couldn't do nothing but laugh, really. I'm like, what the hell am I meant to do with this? Right, this person who was an icon on Facebook private messaged me, and it was two women in a bath, naked, with big massive boobs. I think it must have been photoshopped. I think that can't even be real, man. They look like blow up dolls. Seriously, I hate that stuff. You know how nudity repulsed I am, and it made me feel sick, but I'm like, I just couldn't. I just thought, Sandra, you're just gonna have to laugh inside at this one, because what the heck else can you do? It's just like so funny in the sense that there was a bath with two women in it, which is gross because I'm not into women, as you know, like that. And they were sat and they were like, you know, their faces, and they had these massive boobs. I'm like, they must be photoshopped. You're not telling me that anyone's really got an anatomy like that. It was just disgusting. But I kept trying to get rid of it, and it kept not getting rid of, but I got rid of it in the end. Thank goodness for that. I just can't stand it. It's so gross. But because of the work I do, and I, you know, I got asexual over my profile and everything, people think it means that I'm a sexual person and want to see that, you know? Hairless but uncalled for. Yeah, exactly. I know. I mean, I wasn't kind of laughing straight away. I was thinking, God, this is just disgusting. But it was good for me in the sense that it made me just confirm my asexuality even more. I'm like, okay, well, every time, you know, I just felt so sick and grossed out by these big boobs. It just like, literally, they filled the bath. I'm like, oh, how can anyone seriously like that? I don't even understand why guys like boobs, but maybe I'm just strange like that. I mean, a lot of asexual guys, they still like boobs. I don't get it. I don't understand the appeal with breasts. I really, really don't. It's like, I guess I can understand it if some really people love sucking them. I guess it's the action maybe, but I just don't like the women's breast. I just think, ugh. Just like I don't like a guy's penis. Ugh. You know, it's like me pass the sick bucket, please. I am nudity repulsed. I find, I don't understand why even other asexual like boobs. I don't get that either, Michael, to be quite honest with you. I don't, you know, but they do. There's a lot on the very end of the ace. I really don't get at all. No. There's a lot though. It's really surprising, you know. Like there was a guy the other day, and he did say he was grey asexual, so I have to give him credit for that on Asexuality. And we were very similar in what we were looking for in a relationship. But then he said about the making out, and I don't really use the term making out. It's not something I've ever been involved in, really. And yeah, I was asking him what he meant by that, and he's basically, you know, he's saying, oh, I love to touch all the body. He's going, oh, I'm not after sex, but I'm sensual. But to him, sensual attraction to him means he wants to touch all over the woman's body. He goes, I want to touch everywhere. And seriously, I even told him this made me feel sick, and it really put me off you in this way. I'm sure outside of all this sexual behaviour stuff that you're a nice guy, you know, but just this is just like, it really makes me feel sick. And what really upset me is he was asexual, supposedly grey asexual, and he was even saying, you know, what made you feel this way, that you don't want a guy to, you know, to touch your breasts and bum, you know, have you been through trauma? And I'm thinking, this is an asexual guy saying it to an asexual female. And don't we have enough of this as asexuals in general, when people, you know, accuse us of having trauma? I mean, I haven't even been accused of having trauma, I don't think, until he came along, and he's asexual. You kind of partly know that some sexual people might actually say that to you. Do you see what I mean? You kind of know that already. But when it's another asexual saying this to you, it's like crazy. It's like, how insensitive can you be? And also, it's like, why, just because I don't like something, does it have to mean I've gone through trauma? I said, no, it's a personal choice. I'm naked repulsed. I do not want a guy touching my breasts and my bum, because I just don't feel comfortable with that. It feels yuck to me. Even when you say it, it makes me feel sick. I mean, I don't want some guys' hands all over me, you know, it just makes me feel gross. And I said to him, you know, if I want to touch I said, I'm fine with, because a lot of people, they think that oh right, if you don't want to be touched, then you don't like nakedness, you must be afraid of your own naked body. And actually, I've developed myself over the years so that I can see myself naked and like what I see. It's taken I think I've always not minded what I saw, but I didn't really like it enough, if you know what I mean. Now I like it a lot because I thought, right, I'm not going to be that asexual that they can ever accuse of saying you don't like your own body being naked. So I do look at myself in the mirror, you know, and sometimes I do other things with myself. But I said to him, if I want to touch myself, if I want to do anything myself, then I'll do that for myself. But I don't want a bloke doing it for me. Thanks very much. But I did actually say, with the exception of, I don't mind being touched down there sometimes in a serious and committed relationship, but with my clothes on, which some people probably don't know how that's done, but it can be done. But, you know, I don't mind that a bit, which is, I guess, is unusual even for asexuals because there's still some sexual behaviour. But I said there's certain places that I don't want to be touched, you know, and it just like grossed me out, you know. It just did. I think, you know, the older the person is as well, because he was actually older in birth certification than me by miles. I think the older person gets, the less I'd even want them to do that. I think if they were much, much younger, then I would probably, you know, maybe in my head I would think of it twice. I purposely avoid looking at myself in the mirror when I'm naked. Oh, do you? I purposely look at myself and say, you're a gorgeous, sexy thing. Even though I'm asexual, I call myself sexy. I think I fancy myself sometimes nowadays. So why not? Because the thing is, before, I wasn't very confident years ago. I didn't really like myself. I was really down myself. I wasn't confident. I used to get into a lot of upset and pain about myself. So kind of like I've trained myself and my brain to do things that are different. Like you know, like I look at I mean, saying to yourself you're sexy when you're asexual is not quite a normal thing to do, is it? But you know, it really pumps me up with confidence. You know, it's really good for me. You know, I go, you're a damn sexy girl, and it's only me looking at myself and enjoying myself like that. I'm like, no, I don't mind if guys find me sexy, actually, but I don't want them to want me to act on it, because I'm not going to act on that. I'm not interested in having sex with them. So because I've been in heterosexual relationships for half my life, I'm kind of used to guys saying that to me, and I don't mind being sexually attractive to guys, but I just don't want the sex with them. So, you know, and I do like to be called pretty and all the rest of it, but obviously sexual guys don't tend to use so much that language. They tend to use other language. But this guy I had the Skype date with, he spoke really nicely. He wasn't really talking about you know, the way I looked as such, but after him was in message, he was saying, oh, do you know something, I didn't see your body, I was just looking at your hair and your smile, and you were smiling and I was smiling, and it was really nice. And he said, did you know that I was looking at you? I said, yeah, you were very attentive, I really liked that and appreciated it. You know, and he was smiling. He was enjoying talking to me. I was enjoying talking to him. So that was really good. But I just don't want to get too attached to this guy, you know, because he may never come over here. I'm not getting married for visa, no, for love nor money, you know. Anyone who even remotely, I think that is. I mean, obviously, he's been declined business visa before, so I'm very aware of that. He did say about marriage, which was only a few days ago, which I'm very weary about that. I'm like, you've just met me. Visa problem, talking about marriage, it doesn't bode well. So I am keeping that under my hat. But he knows I'm not going to marry him. So at the end of the day, he either comes over here to be with me, doesn't he? Or he doesn't bother. And then I end up with someone else. So it's going to, you know, it's going to be his loss in the end. So it's up to him to get himself over here, isn't it? Do you see what I'm saying? If he's very serious about me. So it depends. I think people have to really put money where their mouth is. I think people have to take action. I think people have to be not just talkers. They have to be action takers, you know. And in the world of business, he's in the world of business. He's even got like 19 mutual friends of mine on Facebook, because I'm into entrepreneurship as well as asexuality. And you know, and he knows in business it's all about action taking, you know. It's about, are you an excuse maker or an action taker? That is one thing that's throughout business, you know, make an excuse or you taking action to do it. And, you know, he's still making some excuses at the moment. I mean, when I say excuses, he's saying, oh, I'll try and all the rest of it. It's all very good way of trying. But at the end of the day, if you really want something badly, you're that determined enough, it doesn't matter about try, you will get it. I always believe that you'll get what you want if you really want it. But it depends how bad you want it. I know people that have moved countries to be with other people, but usually it's out of the UK. So usually it's a UK person going to there. But I do know it's hard for Indian guys to get into the UK because I've had this in the past with loads of them. However, a lot of them don't try that hard. You know, they make out they're looking, or they don't even look, you know. It requires a lot of investigation, a lot of hard work to see all the options. And most of them can get here. They just have to come for study. But unless they're still into studying or willing to pay the fees, then they don't come here. So it's not like they can't come here. I mean, pretty much they can apply for university. I mean, they could apply now for university to probably still get in for September this year if they really wanted to. And, you know, they just pay, if they got money, he's got money, he says, pay the fees, doesn't it? Go to university and then get a job on the side. That's what you need to do if you want to get in this country. It's not exactly rocket science, but, you know, it's, are they willing to pay the fees? Have they got the money in the first place? Could they get work over here as well? Then they've got accommodation. So it's not that easy, but in essence, people do it. I mean, there's loads of foreign students all the time in the UK. There's loads of Indian guys in the UK. Sadly, none of them's raising their hand and saying, hey, I'm asexual, which I would love it if they did, but they're not doing that. You know, I kind of think to myself, there must be some Indian asexual guys somewhere in the UK, but I haven't the foggiest where the heck they are, because none of them are revealing themselves to me. The only ones that I possibly know about, there's a couple of guys. Well, there's one guy, he's demisexual. I think he's Indian, so he's no good for me. And he doesn't really speak to me. And there's another guy, but I'm not sure where he falls. I'm not sure where he falls on the spectrum. And I'm not sure actually if he's Indian or not. And then there was another guy who wasn't in any asexual groups, but I just talked to him. And he's in the UK, but I thought he was asexual, but that was a long time ago. I've got no asexual Indian guys that I know of, like really know well, or know of that are actually asexual and interested, if you know what I mean, or even on the heteromantic side for definite. So, you know, it's like rubbish from that point of view. But, you know, I'm going to go out dancing again, because at least I can dance with foreign guys. So that's nice. And I think if there is by any chance an asexual foreign guy in my city, he's going to be at that dancing place, because that's where all the foreign guys go. The problem with the venue is a lot of them go for hookups, you know what it's like. But having said that, because it's world music there, they're not so bad, because they actually really enjoy the music. It's like a lot of foreign music, and there are people with their boyfriends and girlfriends that go there together that have a good time. So it's all about hooking up. It's not like a traditional nightclub. It's like a pub that's turned into a club. And it's got world music, you know, so it's got a lot of African beats, salsa beats, all that type of thing, and they mix up dance music to sort of urban tunes and stuff. I might be talking gobbledygook if you're not into all this type of thing, but yeah. So I think if there's an asexual guy, if it's asexual Indian, he's gonna be there. So, you know, I can't do anything about the guy in India at the moment, apart from know that he seems like a really decent guy. If he was over here, I think it would maybe be suitable for me to try possibly a relationship with him if I got to know him better, because I think maybe he could live without sex. I'm not sure, because I still don't, you know, I'm very dubious about any sexual person saying they can live without sex. I think theoretically it's nice in the beginning, but whether they could maintain that is a completely another different kettle of fish, is it not? But he seems like a really decent guy. He seems like a good heart, you know. And yeah, if he's not over here, then I can't commit to him. If he's over here, then yeah, I could be, you know, if I wanted to be in a committed relationship, I could do that. But I can't do anything like that with him stuck over there, you know. So I just have to keep sort of looking around for a possible asexual Indian soulmate in the UK. Go out dancing anyway, because it's good for me, even if I don't get involved with anyone, you know. A lot of them are sexuals there, so it's best just to dance, have some hugs or whatever, do some dancing, and then come home, innit? I'm young, free and single at the moment, so, you know, I might not be single forever, so I may as well enjoy it while I can and do whatever I want, really. And then it's good to have your options open as well. Do you know what I mean? It's not good to close your options. I mean, even if you're in a relationship, it's still good for them to know that you've got other options, you know. So many people, like, when they're in a relationship, they just take each other for granted. I hate that. You know, it's like, I naturally hope that I still, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I do still appreciate the person when I'm in a relationship with them. But a lot of people, when they get in relationships, it's like, oh, I've got you now. I can look around at other people. I'll start like, you know, treating you badly, trampling all over you, will disrespect you. And so they do a lot of this other stuff, all the respect stuff, and say what you want to hear in order to get into a relationship in the first place. So I'm still very cautious with this sexual guy, and I'm still very cautious in general with anyone, because you never know, do you know what I mean? And it's very easy for people to lie. It's very easy for people to give their heart and love away these days over the internet. It's very easy for people to say the words you want to hear. I don't personally find it easy, because from the point of view that I don't like doing that type of thing. For me, it's unethical and I hate it, and I wouldn't do it to someone. What's the frigging point? As far as I'm concerned, there is no point. You know, it's just a waste of life, a waste of energy, and a waste of time. I don't want anyone wasting my time, so where should I waste other people's? But, you know, there are still a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of people that do it to asexuals as well, which I get really annoyed about. But, you know, he did seem genuine. I have to admit, when I Skyped him, video chatted with him, he seemed a genuine guy, seemed to speak from his heart, seemed to be a good quality guy. He is older, so he should know better than to mess people around. He hasn't had a girlfriend before, which I still find that really odd at 34. Like, he's heterosexual, not asexual. So I still find that bizarre. But then he did tell me that he doesn't want to marry an Indian woman, and they're all usually married over there by the time they're 25. So he's told his parents that. So, you know, it's pretty obvious he wants to go to another country, isn't it? Because he couldn't be with, if he doesn't want to marry an Indian girl, so he has to get out of India. It's pretty obvious. But it's like, UK is the hardest country to get into. I'm like, yeah, I know. But if you want to do it, you'll do it. If you don't, you won't, will you? At the end of the day, I mean, he's already talking about love and all this crazy stuff, you know, oh, I love you and all the rest of it, which is great in theory. If he means every word of it, brilliant, wonderful. Finally found a sexual guy who can live without sex and wants to be with me for my personality. But this isn't the ideal case scenario. You have to know that, you know, these people can be telling you what you want to hear because they can want to please you, because they really like you. They genuinely, I don't doubt that he genuinely likes me. I have no doubt about that, you know, because lots of guys like me, but there's a difference between like and love, isn't there? And there's also a difference between a genuine guy liking me, but being himself, and another guy genuinely liking me and, you know, saying what I want to hear in order to get me and keep me. Do you see what I mean? There's two different things going on there. So I'm just going to like really proceed with caution. I feel better for talking to him on video chat though. You know, it's, you know, I've got to see how it goes, because I don't know the guy. He seems nice, but, you know, I've been stung so many times, and usually I don't believe a sexual and asexual can work together. Really, truthfully and honestly. So, you know, I do believe my soulmate's Indian. I've always thought that since 2014. Intuitively, I've never had an Indian boyfriend in my life before, but I intuitively know that he's Indian, but I thought he was asexual, not sexual, which is a reason why I definitely need to keep my options open, you know, because if Mr. Indian asexual guy is out there and he happens to bump into me when I, you know, have this sexual person interested in me, then I'm not going to be free to be with the asexual guy. Having said that, if the sexual guy is saying everything the truth, which I'm not sure that he is, but if he is, then yeah, technically speaking, I could be with him if I got to know him better and liked him, you know, and he was over in this country, because he kind of like is very similar on some things that he says to me. But, you know, it seems a bit too good to be true to me. So I will reserve judgment. I mean, a lot of the time when things are too good to be true, they usually are too good to be true. However, at some point in your life, there's got to be that your dreams do come true, you know? And I totally believe that my soulmate is Indian. He's in the very least foreign, I know that, but I have thought he's in his 20s. Now, this guy isn't even in his 20s, you see, because ideally I want a guy in his 20s. Having said that, guys in their 20s, the majority of them don't even know what they want. They're too young to have the finances to be able to move or to do anything, to come in this country. So one of my friends who's not asexual, he's from Pakistan actually, he told me a long time ago, he said, you need to be going for guys who are 28 plus, really, up to their early 30s. I know you like younger guys, Sandra, but you need a bit older guy, someone who knows, who's not going to mess you around, who knows what they want in their life, which this guy, considering he's 34, should know what he wants and not be lying to me, technically speaking. But however, years ago, I haven't really told you about this, there was an Indian guy that came into my life online, and I think he was in his 40s, or he must have been in his late 30s, early 40s, so he's older than I usually gone for, and it was really weird. He came into my life, and I found out I think he'd had his heart broken, which is usually the case with Indian guys. They have their heart broken by their first true love. They never get over it, and then they meet someone new, and they can't get over their ex. So they're always going on about them, or talking about them, or they're pretending that they don't care, when really they keep coming up in conversation all the time. It's like, please, move on with your life. This is years ago. Get over it. I know love hurts, but at the end of the day, I don't hanker after any of my past flames. Probably maybe because they were not, majority of them, not very nice. But even so, it's like, still, get over it, move on, because you can't have someone else come into your life and be in your heart if you've got some old past flame still in that position in your heart. Do you see what I mean? The two people can't fit in the same space. So anyone's watching this today or in a future, if you're hankering someone after your past and you keep thinking what if, and go and deal with it if you need to before you enter a relationship. Go and speak to the person, get it all sorted out of your system once and for all, if you really need to, and then be with someone else. But for goodness sake, get over the other person. Move on. That person wasn't right for you. You're not together for a reason. It doesn't matter whether you think, oh yeah, but I did this, they did that. So they did this and you did that. That happened. Don't ignore it. Just move on, isn't it? Move on. Because unless you open your heart up to other people in your life, you're still hankering after those old people. Those new people can't get a hoping heck of going into your heart, can they? They just can't. So it's common sense that you need to let the other person go, the people go, however much it may hurt, it just has to be done. And so that you invite fresh love into your life. Like, I know that there's got to be someone who is decent for me in the future. And I thought he's asexual, which is why he's not see, this guy's sexual. Doesn't, So yeah, anyway, that's where I'm at. If you've got any questions before I go, please pop them in the comments now so I can answer them for you. If you want to ask me anything about asexual to sexual relations or that type of thing, I've already gone through the fact that he's very respectful, didn't say anything sexual to me. Some asexuals are some more sexual. Not got anything to ask tonight. I don't have any questions. All right, that's great. Well, it's really nice to speak to you both. Thanks very much for tuning in. And to the other person, I've forgotten the other person's name, but I know you're watching. I really appreciate it. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Please subscribe below if you haven't already. Hit that great big bell icon so you get notified of every time I post a new video. I really appreciate you being here and supporting this channel. You're welcome, Martin. Keep sharing this channel and all the videos with your friends so that we can raise awareness for asexuality. Thanks for the like. Someone's just removed their like. They put a like on for the thumbs up for 3 and they've took it off again. They've took it off again. Anyway, maybe it's someone that's just come on and saw it. Anyway, I hope you do give me more thumbs up because it helps it go up in the search engine rankings, and I need asexuality to be well known about. So, but thanks to the 2 people that have given me thumbs up and kept it on there. I really appreciate it. And I love you all to bits. Thank you very much for tuning in. Take care and have a fabulous ace night or daytime or morning, wherever you are. Bye.